Well, hi. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Again, a different look to the set that is behind me that will not look like this very much longer. We have a lot of plants, some panels are coming in, some acoustical panels that we had ordered that will get up. We've got a lot of work to do to this. We're going to have new furniture in here. This room will ultimately be the set for the show, both this show, Morning Coffee, and also Local Roots. But we're still in a construction zone around here. And we're just kind of shifting things around studio to studio so you can kind of get a look at some of the different things that we're going to be working in. Today, part two of our conversation with Chris LaFerla, the president and CEO of the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce. Yesterday, we talked quite a bit about the Voices and Vision event and some of the different findings that they presented there. In this episode, we are going to talk more about what the focus groups learned. And that was a company called Roll Call that they brought in to conduct these and to gather that information. So Chris is going to share all of that with us today on the show. Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, smoke, often leading to mold, and you're left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. Service Master Restore by Schmader will restore your space by offering quality commercial and residential restoration services in Council Bluffs and the surrounding area. Call 402-339-9911. All the way back to 1870 is when Avila Bank began providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs, whether you need a loan, a new business account, saving money for a trip, or just looking to open a personal checking account. Avila's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and more. Visit avila.bank to learn more. And Morning Coffee brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Back with another opportunity to talk with Chris LaFerla. He is the president and CEO of the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back into the studios on Willow. We've got more to talk about because this study and focus group and everything that's been going on, a lot of information is out there.
Yeah.
And everybody's been working really hard, and I'm grateful that you came back and that we can take a little bit of a deeper dive into what some of the focus groups were able to find out.
Happy to do it. In that first session, we kind of covered some of the background and a few takeaways from the community survey that we conducted. And after we conducted the survey, we hired Roll Call, a talent attraction agency that's based in Iowa. They do work all over the country, to come in and conduct some focus groups to dig a little deeper, ask more pointed questions, try and take the survey data and turn it into information a little bit more. And so I just want to share a few quick little things that we learned from those focus groups. Big takeaways in terms of what they heard from those focus group individuals, which were, by the way, a lot of young professionals, boomerangs, transplants. We wanted to kind of capture a diverse group of people in terms of their familiarity and history with the Council Bluffs community. And this is what we learned. Very, strong blue collar pride and hardworking ethos. That's one of the things that that group recognized about Council Bluffs that they really liked. Resilient, supportive community, safe. Again, this theme of living in a smaller community with access to the greater metropolitan area and everything that it has to offer, and the natural recreation and attractions and just the beauty of Council Bluffs and, being this part of Iowa attached to the Les Hills, and all that has to offer from a nature standpoint. Deep history and significant arts and culture opportunities. These are all the things that those focus groups really felt like they wanted to share in terms of what they love most about Council Bluffs.
Yeah, there's a couple of things on there that really stand out to me. Number one, you talk about the blue collar and the pride behind that. We can sometimes get lost in the weeds when it comes to blue collar, thinking that it just has to do with construction.
Right.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I have seen examples of such as computer coders and things like that, which may seem like a white collar job, but I have seen people very successful in that coming out of blue collar families because they take that same blue collar work ethic in with it to that. And also, you talked about the proximity to metropolitan, right across the river from Omaha. We're an hour from Lincoln, hour and a half from Sioux City, 2 hours from Des Moines, 2.5 from Kansas City. We are very centrally located to a lot of metropolitan areas, and to me, that is an appealing thing.
That's a good point. Yeah. When I talk about access to larger cities, these focus groups specifically pointed out not just Omaha, but Des Moines and Kansas City, right. And to a certain extent, you look communities like Minneapolis, not that far away, really. But that's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. This group really focused in on a few things that they think sort of represents Council Bluffs being civic-minded and resourceful, specifically talking about how quickly residents of this community are to help each other and to help strangers, to pitch in to small things like helping their neighbor. But they are small gestures that mean a lot to people and really go a long way in building community in Council Bluffs. One of the things that emerged from these focus groups is we have a story that's worth telling a little bit louder. It's kind of connected to that pride in Council Bluffs that we sometimes talk about ourselves, as a group, we talk about the way you and I are talking about all the things that we love about Council Bluffs. But we also kind of let these outdated perceptions from people outside of Council Bluffs permeate those thoughts sometimes. And it is time for us to move beyond those things. If you hear something enough, sometimes you start to believe it's true or it becomes a part of the culture, even though you don't want it to. And I think most of us know what I'm talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's time for us to say, you know what, we are going to drive this conversation about who we are, and our voice is going to be louder than the others.
And also, I think it's time to push back a little bit. I'm not saying get into fights or anything like that, but just say, when you start to hear some of that stuff, my answer always was, you know what, have you been over here for a while? Tell you what, you come over, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. We'll sit, we'll talk a little bit, and then I'll take you on a tour. Yeah. And we'll just go around and we'll look at some stuff. Yeah. And we're gonna go through some of the older neighborhoods. We're gonna go through some of the business districts. We're going to take a look at the parks. We're going to take a look at the trails that you had already mentioned. And then when we're done, then we can have the conversation about your impression, because a lot of these have been said by people that have not been here in a long time. And this was one of the things that really surprised me at the event back on October 29th, was that this was found out, that we learned that, we're proud of being here. We just don't want to talk about it. And we need to. We need to talk about it.
We do. That's one of the big takeaways from all of this work. And we need to do something about that. We talked a little bit about with this focus group, and one of the things that emerged is that we have a unique identity in the metro, and it is time for us to maybe think about defining what that is. We are a part of the Omaha metropolitan area, and we're a very unique part of that. We have a very unique identity. And that offers something for us to celebrate. I think this is sort of connected to the small town feel with access to the big amenities in Omaha. But I think what these focus groups were saying is now is the time for us to carve out who we are as part of the metro, not just as Council Bluffs, Iowa, if that makes sense.
I think it makes perfect sense. I think that I've talked with a lot of people about this, that, what ultimately is decided in Council Bluffs is decided by our local government and in Des Moines. What is decided in Omaha is decided by their local government and in Lincoln. Different set of rules. Yeah, we are in proximity to each other. We absolutely have to be cooperative with each other. I mean, just because we live so close and we are traveling back and forth across that bridge to go to work and to go to dinner and to different things, but we are unique.
Yeah.
And we have to, I think, owning that. It's not about one place being better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about, being proud of where we are at. It doesn't have to be a comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. We're never going to be Omaha. And I don't think any of us here really want to be. We want to be Council Bluffs, and I think there's been a lot of investment in Council Bluffs that's been smart in terms of intentionally building amenities and creating opportunities that don't exist in Omaha. If you go to the riverfront and look at some of the developments that have happened there, just as an example of this, I think those were intentionally created to build things that don't exist on the Omaha side, both for us to have our own unique identity, but also for people to cross that bridge from Omaha and get to experience something different on this side of the river. And that's good. That's a good thing for this metro region.
I want to speak to just a second to the people that I've seen the comments about the riverfront and I've seen people say that was a failed development. Really? Find a place to live down there. They're full. All the condos are full. All the housing is full. There are some, empty commercial bays down there, but that's where the growing economy is going to be able to help that. But the housing part of it was a huge success.
Huge success, yeah. So after these focus groups, Todd, we brought together a different group of people to say, okay, here's what the survey respondents had to say. Here's, a little more, a deeper dive from the focus groups on what they offered in terms of themes and opportunities in Council Bluffs. The working groups were really tasked with how do we turn this into action now? And of these emerging themes, what elevate to be the most important, the most opportunistic opportunities for us to really move forward and actually do something? And they identified three. The first is that they identified is that we need to tell our own story. To me, and what that means is that we need to drive the narrative. Mm-hmm. We need to tell our own story about Council Bluffs and not let those outdated perceptions sort of permeate those things. But more specifically, that we need to do a better job of talking positively and telling positive stories about our own experiences here in Council Bluffs and what makes Council Bluffs so great. These are kind of related, but they also identified promoting our unique identity in the metro as being a top issue. I think those two things are connected. And if we do the first one really well, it's going to go a long way to carving out that unique identity. They also identified supporting local businesses as being a top priority. And that didn't really come through significantly on the survey data, but as the focus group started talking about, what makes Council Bluffs great, small businesses did emerge up out of that conversation, and these working groups identified supporting the local economy through small businesses as a top priority. And I couldn't agree more. The chamber, we have about 600 members. 85% of those members are businesses that are local to Council Bluffs and have fewer than 50 employees. The vast majority of those smaller than 25 employees. So, we have a lot of intentional initiative designed around supporting and enhancing an environment that's attractive to small businesses in Council Bluffs. And while a lot of large businesses are very involved in Council Bluffs and you know, great community partners, those small businesses on a large scale are really connected in Council Bluffs and, you know, go out of their way to support the community in many different ways. So I wasn't surprised to see this emerge as one of the top 3 priorities from these working groups.
We have some great small businesses, and I think we have some small retail shops that people probably aren't even aware are there. We obviously, most people are aware of the ones that are on the 100 block, but you get into downtown and you've got some great shops and great restaurants, and there's just little places pocketed all around town that learn where they are. And we just came through the Christmas season, and I preached all the time. It's not just shop small and shop local. It's also shop in person. And this is a place to be able to do that. We have some shops here that would love your business, and past just Christmas, you can get in there and help support your friends and neighbors and family members that are out there grinding and doing all of this stuff. And as a chamber president, I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's the reason this show exists is because we want to support the people that are right here.
That's fantastic. And, you know, I think just what you said and your mission with this podcast really speaks to all 3 of these priorities, you know, and, you know, supporting local businesses and having local media that does that is part of telling our story. It's part about promoting our unique identity in the metro. These are connected in a lot of different ways, but, you know, I appreciate you and everything that you're trying to do here, because it really is in such close alignment with what we're trying to do with this work, which is encourage people to tell positive stories about Council Bluffs.
I also would, since I've got an opportunity and I'm thinking about it right now, I'll put a challenge out there to the other media that we have here in town. I can't do it by myself. Please come help. You know, there's more to say than this is just one format that we can put it out there. This long form is one way that we can do it. We need short form. We need print. We need all of it.
Yeah.
It can't be done by just one specific outlet. And too many times we've forgotten that. And media has forgotten what it was to truly be local. And listen, I'm not a voice for the community. I'm a conduit for voices in the community. That's my job. Yeah, I will talk sometimes, but I need to give a platform to those who otherwise haven't had one. That's the goal. And we used to have that much more widespread. I want to see it come back. Come help. We can, there's a market for it. I promise you, there's a market for it.
Well, you're doing your share, and that's why I'm here first.
Well, thank you for that. I'm very grateful. Yeah.
So just to kind of bring this to a close, you know, like I mentioned before, we presented a lot of this data at the Voices and Vision event in October. But as you pointed out, we also collected real-time feedback from the people that were there. And I just wanted to share a few things from the group. When we shared this information about those 3 priorities, we asked the group that was there that day, about 200 people, which one of those things should we prioritize? And promoting our unique identity in the metro kind of won out in a small margin, and supporting local businesses coming in second there. We also asked, you know, when we tell our story, who's our audience? Like, who are we targeting these stories to? Overwhelmingly, the group that was there felt like we really needed to, when we're creating this unique identity for Council Bluffs, or not creating it, but just telling people, doing a better job of telling the world who we are and what makes us unique. The people that were there that day felt like that audience, by and large, needs to be the greater metro area. Not necessarily to Council Bluffs residents, not necessarily to tourists and potential residents, but really right here in our own backyard, making sure that the people that are here with us know our story.
Right.
We also asked about prioritizing groups, and the audience members could select more than one option here, and the top two were young professionals and young families. In a lot of ways, those are connected, but overwhelmingly, the people that were there agreed we really need to ensure that we're reaching out and connecting with young folks. That was pretty loud and clear. We also asked about selecting areas or ideas that the people that were there that day would be enthusiastic about seeing in the community. Supporting vibrant business districts came out on top there, along with some sort of campaign, some Who We Are campaign, identity campaign, and investing in future leaders. I think that speaks to this, the idea coming out of those working groups about supporting local businesses, creating, vibrant, walkable business districts like the downtowns and, the 100 blocks of the area, and really prioritizing young people. How do we ensure that we got strong future leaders being developed in our community to pass along, the next generation, the community to this next generation that's coming in. Just a reminder, we talked a little bit about, sometimes we can buy in to that false narrative that we hear outside of Council Bluffs, and it permeates enough that, some of us in the community, might start buying into it and speaking negatively about Council Bluffs. But Todd, everywhere that I go and I run outside of Council Bluffs and I run into people that have been to Council Bluffs or familiar with Council Bluffs, it is almost always overwhelmingly positive feedback. I've been to Council Bluffs. You've got, name it, the trails, the pace building, the incredible parks, the First Avenue Trail, whatever it is that they saw when they came here, I get just overwhelmingly positive reports from those people. And Debbie Durham, who is the Iowa Economic Development Authority Director, just loves Council Bluffs, just sings our praises all over the state of Iowa. And, she posted on her social media account about a recent visit that she made to Council Bluffs. And, I think sometimes it's a good reminder that we sometimes see Council Bluffs through our own eyes in different ways than other people outside of Council Bluffs do. But there's a ton to celebrate. And I also wanted to mention this. In June last year, or this year, the Iowa Association of Business and Industry hosted their annual convention here. About 600 to 700 people attend that event every year. This was the first time they've ever hosted it in Council Bluffs. And that organization has existed for 120 years. All the biggest, most successful businesses in the state of Iowa are at that event. And Chad Reese, who is the Vice President of Government and Industry Relations at Winnebago and the board chair for ABI, I'm just going to read the quote that he said. As Iowa's Western Gateway, Council Bluffs has undergone a remarkable transformation, evolving into a vibrant hub. With thriving downtown energy, unique cultural amenities, and an exceptional quality of life, hosting the ABI conference there this year opened many eyes to the city's growth and momentum, an inspiring contrast to where it was just 20 years ago. I think we just need to recognize these things and say, yeah, we are doing some great things here. We have a lot to celebrate.
I think, too, that by paying attention to what other people that aren't connected, that don't have those preconceived notions about what Council Bluffs is, has been, or was, or whatever, listen to because they're an accurate reflection of who we are right now. And none of this means we don't have challenges. None of this means that, okay, yeah, there are problems that need to be fixed, but it's the old adage about, what wolf are you feeding? That's the one that's going to grow. And when you look at the positive grows. When all you do is focus on the negative and you never celebrate your wins, then that's what grows. And that's all you ever see.
Sure.
And we are so much more than the challenges that we have. And I am a firm believer that we have much, much more positive to look at than the negative in the community. Doesn't mean we ignore it, doesn't mean we don't address those challenges, but it does mean that we need to celebrate what it is that we do well and continue to grow those things and look at these things. So that's why when I left that event on October 29th, and everybody I talked to felt the same way. They were energized by it. They really felt like, okay, we have something here. We know we have a direction now and a clear mission of what it is that we need to do. And it starts with us. It starts with stop the negative talk. And just be proud of where you're at, because you already are.
Right.
You already are proud of it. Say so. It's okay to say it.
Yeah. Well, we asked everybody that was there that day when they left, what's something that they are going to do. And the vast majority of people, said they were going to commit to being a positive voice in the community. And, a couple of things just that I'll leave here with is this work is not done. You're never really done listening to the community. So that community survey that we conducted this year, I imagine that or something like it is something that we're going to continue to do every 2 or 3 years or something like that. But, I'm continuing to go out and share this message with people. We're continuing to listen. That work is never going to be done. But one thing that I think we will definitely be working on next year, and when I say we, I'm including the Chamber of Commerce, Iowa West Foundation, and any partners that want to be a part of this initiative of creating a sense of positive identity and belonging in the community. And we don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but we've had discussions, and what we're going to be focused on in 2026 is launching some sort of initiative to ask people like you and other residents of Council Bluffs to share their positive stories about Council Bluffs, about their experiences living here and what they love about the community through their own experience. We certainly don't need we don't need a slick marketing campaign or, people to, tell someone else's story. Just in your own words, make a choice to tell the community what you love about Council Bluffs. And so we'll be working on something in the next year. Right now, the focus is on just sharing this information with as many people as we can. I've included this last slide here that has the URL for the full video of the Voices and Vision event that we hosted, the community survey results, the demographic overview. All of that is posted online for the public to see.
Well, I can, in a small way, get that ball started rolling right now. If you're watching this and you have one of those stories, there's a comment section right underneath where you're watching the show. Go ahead and put it right there. And if you're willing and would like to reach out and actually appear sitting in this chair or in this room and talk about it, I'd love to have you on. So go ahead and just leave me a comment down there about just some of the things that you're proud of. And that's how you get it started. You just need to normalize talking about the positive, and we'll do our part here.
I appreciate you having me on. And like I said before, that the reason why you're the first stop on this tour is because your mission is to do just that. You're going out and sharing positive stories and putting a spotlight on the best that we have to offer in Council Bluffs, and I just appreciate everything that you do.
Well, thank you very much. It's a high compliment. I'm grateful. And he is Chris LaFerla, and he is the president and CEO of the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce. Great to see you. Great job. Great, all of this, compiling this information for us so we can see it for ourselves. And we'll get you back in the chair again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Todd.
Just a couple of days away from the new year, and as the new year begins, the Acres in Council Bluffs is ready to help couples and organizations plan unforgettable celebrations. Set on 13 beautiful acres, the Acres offers a flexible, stress-free venue with no hidden fees and full freedom to choose your own vendors. From weddings and receptions to corporate gatherings and milestone events, the space comfortably hosts up to 200 guests with everything you need for a seamless experience. Start the year by securing the perfect setting for your next event. Learn more and schedule a tour at theacresvenue.com. Bloomworks Floral in Council Bluffs has been bringing beauty to Council Bluffs for years with fresh floral arrangements for every moment worth celebrating. They specialize in creative wedding designs, stunning sympathy flowers, and thoughtful gift bouquets. Also prom accessories and local delivery across Southwest Iowa and the Omaha area. Whether you want flowers for a special event or just to brighten someone's day, Bloomworks Floral combines local charm with expert craftsmanship. Visit ebloomworks.com to explore their galleries, subscription packages, and same-day delivery options. Make life's moment more beautiful with Bloomworks Floral. And good morning start with peace of mind. Miners Healthcare provides professional in-home support where it matters most, helping individuals maintain comfort, dignity, and independence in their daily lives. Their experienced nursing team focuses on personalized care, clear communication, and supporting families through every step of the process. Healthcare built on trust, compassion, and real relationships. Learn more about Miners Healthcare and their services at their website, minershealthcare.com. That's going to wrap up today's show. Again, thank you, Chris LaFerla, President and CEO of the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce, for all your hard work and everything that you did to compile all that information for us and by sharing it with us on the show. We're very grateful, and we're looking forward to having Chris back again very, very soon. That's going to wrap up today's show. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here on New Year's Eve.